K-High KHIZ. You're watching News 64 with Abbott Dutton, Mark Berryhill, and Steve Gannon Sports.
Good evening and thanks for choosing K-High for your news at 10.
Before we get to election news tonight, fire tops our news again at 10.
Wildfires are sweeping across Southern California for the second time in a week. Thousands have been forced from their homes, and million-dollar homes in Malibu are burning as we speak. We get the latest from Greg Lamont.
Grabbing pets and any other belongings they could carry, thousands of frantic homeowners ran from the fast-moving fire in the Santa Monica Mountains. The blaze, whipped by gusting 50-mile-per-hour Santa Ana winds, started shortly before noon Pacific time, and within an hour had turned some homes into ashes and threatened hundreds more. Civilians were injured, some critically.
Mr. Gibbons, Duncan Gibbons, is probably the most severely burned. He has second and probably third-degree burns over 90 to 95% of his body. The only areas not burned are where his shorts were and the ankle and the soles of his feet.
With flames shooting hundreds of feet into the air and thick black smoke seen as far away as 55 miles, residents using garden hoses made a gallant attempt to save their homes. But the flames moved so fast and were so unpredictable, sheriff's deputies had no choice but to get everyone out of the area. The National Guard assaulted the flames by air with fire retardant and water, while the ground battle was waged by hundreds of already weary firefighters. There was more bad news. Weather forecasters said gusty winds would continue throughout the night. 60 miles to the east of Los Angeles in Banning, California, another wildfire exploded in brushlands, forcing evacuations there.
Our stuff's already gone. I mean, you know, it's still so close. I've lived out here since 1956, and everything we have is up in that house. My other horse is in the trailer, and I work at Sunset Haven. We had to evacuate there. It's like we're running from house to hospital. It's terrible, and I just don't know what to do.
The Banning blaze was caused by a downed power line. The Santa Monica mountain fires are a rekindling of blazes that destroyed more than 171,000 acres in Southern California last week. Firefighters said the latter fire might burn to the Pacific Ocean, with hundreds of mostly luxury homes in its path. Greg Lamont, CNN, Los Angeles.
Local firefighters are also lending a hand in these Southland fires. Crews from various fire agencies gathered this afternoon. Victor Valley firefighters met at the fire station at the San Bernardino County Fairgrounds this afternoon. They're preparing to fight the out-of-control blazes down the hill.
We're mobilizing resources upon request from the San Bernardino County Communications Center. We don't have any specific assignments right at the moment, but through mobilization, we are preparing to assist any of the other jurisdictions that may need help. The mobilization that we have is a compilation of units from all of the area fire departments. It's not just Victorville. We have units from Atlanto, Apple Valley, California Division of Forestry, Hesperia, Victorville.
The first group was dispatched around 2. They were sent to fight the brush fires in the Banning-Beaumont area. Another strike team was sent later to the same area, and a third strike team is standing by, ready to assist as needed. Peterson says these extra crews are extra and that the Victor Valley is properly staffed to fight any blazes that may break out here. The Antelope Valley is also helping in the Southland fires. 13 deputies and a sergeant from the Antelope Valley Sheriff's Station went to help in the Topanga fire. They'll help with evacuations and rescues as well as roadblocks. The deputies are also working 12-hour shifts. They'll be relieved by another team this evening. Also, the Antelope Valley Fire Department has sent in fire crews to help fight the blazes in Los Angeles. Regular crews were sent and reserve fire crews have been called in to man the Antelope Valley Station.
Well, of course, the story just continues to change as we speak. Here's the very latest that we have. I just got this handed to me. A spokesman for Pepperdine University reports fire has reached the eastern part of the campus, and now everyone on campus has been taken to the school's gym. I repeat, Pepperdine University staff and professors have all been taken to the school gym. And also, the Malibu fire is threatening the Hughes Research Laboratories, which is near the university. University. Abbott, what do you have for us?
Well, in Riverside County, closest to us, the Banning-Beaumont area, 7,500 acres have burned. It's out of control there still. This is north of Banning, 80 miles east of Los Angeles. 3 civilian injuries are reported, as well as 4 homes destroyed. They believe that the fire was caused by arcing power lines that hit some trees and then sparked and caused that fire early this morning. Also in San Bernardino County, in Yucaipa and Oak Glen, 55 acres have burned. It's 100% contained, though. There's some good news, and no structures were in danger there.
And of course, we will continue to follow this story. The last report we had also that many stars live in the Malibu area, and apparently some homes have already been destroyed, and we will keep you posted. It's a very scary situation, and throughout the evening, along with our election coverage, we will have fire updates. All the voting polls have been closed throughout San Bernardino and LA counties.
Our Kathleen Chew is standing by live at the Victorville Courthouse to bring us the latest on local elections. Kathleen.
Well, Mark and Abbott, we are here live at the San Bernardino Courthouse. In the main area of the courthouse, as you may see behind me, this is where the ballots are being checked before being fed into a computer where ballots will be counted. Now, polls have been closed for 2 hours except for those areas affected by fire. Polling in those areas was extended until 10 o'clock tonight. Now, earlier we spoke with some voters as well as some poll workers to find out what voter turnout was like.
The voting precinct here at Victorville's City Hall was mostly empty this afternoon, all except for a few voters and election workers. According to one worker, the turnout here was lower than other precincts.
We've had 77 here at Precinct 35 at City Hall. This is the first time that I've worked at this precinct, but it's below other precincts that I've worked. We've heard that some of the others have done very well so far. Normally in presidential elections we get more of a turnout than we do for the local elections. Then this is normal to what the other local elections that I've worked.
In our random sampling of voters, decisions on the school voucher initiative seem split, with half in favor of the controversial measure and the other half against it.
174 I voted yes.
And how come?
I think we do need a voucher system where we can use our taxes to put our kids in the schools that we choose.
Well, I just don't think it's a good idea. I think we'll probably be letting ourselves into something that's really going to backfire on us.
On the extension of the half-cent sales tax proposal, support for law enforcement and firefighters seems strong.
Well, I'm very much in favor of it. I'm the city attorney for Victorville, and we need the money to support our police officers, fire department, courts, and probation officers.
I voted yes on that, quite frankly, because I am in full support of the police department, especially in our city, which is an excellent police department. That's Adelanto. And I feel that the police, the fire department, or any emergency entity of our government should be given whatever support. I don't know whether this is the answer, but once again, it's my way of trying to help out our emergency people who do what I consider to be a fantastic job.
Now they say that they have been counting these ballots since 8 o'clock tonight, although results will not be available until after 10, which hopefully will be soon. Now they're telling us that this area will be taking in ballots from throughout the Victor Valley, including some unincorporated areas such as Phelan and Lucerne Valley. So that's our live report here at the Victorville Courthouse. Back to you in the studio, Mark Abbott.
Okay, so they say the results will be in around 10 o'clock then. Do you figure you'll have something for us then, Kathleen, shortly?
Okay, now I think I understood you to say that you're wondering about when the results will be coming in. At this point, they're still waiting to check and see with the Secretary of the State to find out whether or not indeed they can release results yet. So we're standing by, and as soon as we find out, we'll give you the details.
Okay, thank you, Kathleen. I should say the state totals are beginning to come in very slowly. Again, the polls in some parts of the state just closed because of the fires. Governor Wilson allowed people to vote till 10 p.m., and they're waiting to release all those results. Okay. So they should be coming in, but at 10:30 we plan to start our non-stop election coverage, and we will have much more election returns starting at 10:30. We'll be back with more news from today right after this break, so do stay with us.
Don't go away.
After 2 days of long debate over privacy, the U.S. Senate has voted to back the demand that Republican Bob Packwood turn over his personal diaries. Our Washington reporter Skip Lozier has more on the charges of harassment.
Senate will come to order.
The Packwood Diaries, Day 2, and once again, senators are called to the floor for the debate.
Mrs. Boxer, Mr. Bradley, Mr. Breaux, Mr. Brown,
Senator Packwood promises a fight if the Senate goes to court to compel him to turn over all his diaries to the Ethics Committee.
I don't want to go to court.
So Packwood is trying to cut a deal, promising to turn over every diary entry relating to his alleged sexual misconduct, as well as those that deal with the possibility that he may have improperly used his influence to get his now ex-wife a job.
What we object to is giving the entire diary to the committee and letting them go through it to see if they can find other charges of which they have no knowledge, of which no one has complained. That is not fair.
But others argue that it isn't fair to keep the committee from learning if the diaries contain information of any other possible misconduct.
We're not at the initial stage of discovery where we're just probing a diary saying it might have something. We're at a stage where everyone knows it does have something.
But some Republicans warned their colleagues not to jump to any conclusions about Packwood's guilt or innocence.
We do not know that women have been abused. We have seen that reported in the papers, and maybe it's true and maybe it's not.
Travel plans of some Victorville city officials were under discussion tonight in a special workshop. The Victorville City Council, now Mayor Pro Tem Mike Rothschild, introduced a new law aimed at restricting travel by city officials. The drafting of the proposal comes in the wake of possible abuses by Mayor Jim Busby.
Well, Mr. Busby has made some trips that I'm not familiar with, although I know they're on the books, and I'm concerned only to the extent that the explanations or the benefit to the city is not clear to me as one council member. That was last year, and this year is a new year. I just want to, as a new council member, back on the council again, I want to make sure that we're all accountable for our expenditures. And I'm concerned that if we're not, then each council member could possibly take any trips that they want, drop the bills on the city treasurer's desk and say, here, pay them. I travel in behalf of the city, and so I want the taxpayers to pay for it. I don't feel that that kind of accountability is legitimate. I think we need something in writing.
And by the way, the city of Victorville has been without a travel plan for the last 30 years. As we first reported yesterday, the finances of Victor Valley College may be questioned. The California Teachers Association has asked 2 local state representatives to request an audit. An anonymous instructor at VVC has accused the college of improper bidding and consultant contracts and misuse of school funds and credit cards. The association's local representative says he's received calls from other teachers as well.
They thought that it's about time that this stuff was exposed because they've always suspected that there have been problems, and they're hoping that this will get straightened out and everything will be uncovered. I think the good name of the college is at stake here, and I don't think anyone wants to see that tarnished.
Now, we also spoke to another teacher at VVC. Daniel Gosai says he's gone to the administration in the past with similar complaints. He says he believes the accusations are true and that as a member of the Teachers Associations, he's tried to resolve these alleged mishandlings with college president Ed Gould.
Just even last Monday, trying to meet with the president, who was not willing to meet with me. And in fact, I don't know why, and I can't understand it if I'm trying to work with them on this issue, but I'm upset myself with what's going on and what's happening.
Gosai says he expects retaliation from the school. Meanwhile, VVC will hold a press conference tomorrow at 4. School administrators say they will provide proof that there has been no illegal activity in their finances. Officials say all charges can be answered by title changes, law changes, and documents. Today, President Gould told News 64 he doesn't know why Riblet is involved because he says Riblet no longer handles situation dealing with community colleges.
This election has not passed without some vandalism to campaign signs.
Apple Valley Fire Board candidate Mike Sowards has had some 70 campaign signs damaged or destroyed over the past 3 days. Last night, Sowards waited by one of his signs and says he witnessed someone starting to take down his campaign sign. He reported it to the police, and they later filed a report and submitted the case to the district attorney's office. Robert Gabler, an Apple Valley firefighter, is accused of committing the vandalism. The fire district told News 64 today that it's their understanding that Gabler had permission from the property owner to remove that campaign sign. Gabler was an off-duty officer at the time. The fire district says they too are conducting an investigation.
And once again, our election coverage will begin around 10:30. The results are slowly beginning to come in from around California. We also will keep you posted on the fire situations across our state. We're going to take a break right now, and I'll be back with your weather forecast right after this.
Well, the winds definitely aren't helping those firefighters out there battling those blazes in Los Angeles. I understand that Pepperdine University was evacuated. Everyone moved to the gym.
To the gym, right.
Yeah, and also a lot of homes in Malibu, very expensive homes that a lot of celebrities own, have been destroyed.
Yeah, Charles Bronson is the latest home I just read on the wire, has totally destroyed. And there are wind advisories for throughout Southern California for tonight. It's a little bit better here in the high desert, so let's take a look at our forecast for tonight. We're calling for clear skies, lows in the upper 30s to upper 40s. For Wednesday, sunny, highs in the 70s, and Wednesday night, clear, lows in the upper 30s to middle 40s. Now here's where we get into the wind advisories. For the mountains for tonight, northeast winds 25 to 35 miles per hour, with gusts up to 50 miles per hour in some areas. Now, that will continue tomorrow, so there will be another wind advisory for tomorrow. However, in the afternoon, they're calling for sunny skies, temperatures in the 50s to 60s. And your forecast, travel forecast, again, a wind advisory for the LA area, especially below the canyons and mountain passes. Winds could get up to 35 miles per hour in some areas closer to our areas, but of course, it's a different story in parts of Southern California tonight, like you saw earlier on the news. So we will just have to wait and see, and we'll keep you posted on the fire situation. We are working, of course, with CNN, and they will update us throughout the evening.
Right, of course. Okay, we'll be right back, everyone. Don't go away. Palmdale residents waiting for the city library to reopen this week will have to wait a little longer. A computerized checkout system is being installed, and problems have caused some delays. The library has more than 120,000 items, and 25% of those items have some kind of barcode problem. Officials want to make sure the system is fully operational and staff completely trained before reopening the library. The Palmdale City Library is scheduled to open on Monday, November 15th at 10 o'clock in the morning.
A group in Lancaster is showing employers how to better use their workforce. As CURT Davis reports, the committee received both moral and financial support for the program.
The Lancaster Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring a Diversity in the Workplace Task Force. 14 committees are exploring ways to create a business environment where all Antelope Valley residents, regardless of background, work at what they do best. According to the task force, nearly 80% of all new entrants into the American workforce will be women, minorities, and immigrants. Business in the Antelope Valley will be faced with similar numbers. The Chamber is committed to programs that will prepare employers and employees for such a workforce, but first, there must be a change in attitude.
I think that this committee, I think that this community, I think that the employees, I think the employers, I think that the business community as a whole is getting the message now that if we're going to succeed, you're going to have to use all of your tools. And many times those tools are the people who are sweeping the floors or who are doing things that they have to do in order to survive rather than the things that they can do to survive and also to support the business that they're working for.
The cities of Lancaster and Palmdale joined the task force today by proclaiming their support. According to city officials, the Antelope Valley workforce will continue to become more diverse through the year 2000, and employers must be ready to incorporate these workers into their businesses. Committee members also believe low-level employees must be educated so they can advance.
The training level of our entry-level employees are needed to be higher. There's more in-house training that has to be done to enhance the personnel. And there's also the changing income factors in California. So I think there are so many external factors that make it so hard for a company to enhance their individuals that maybe it's the last thing that they think about.
Financial support was given today by IDS American Express. The corporation presented a $5,000 grant to fund the program.
It could be used for materials for a resource library. It can be used for scholarship monies for the entrepreneurial outreach program. It can be used for bringing in major speakers, training materials.
Like most areas of California, the Antelope Valley has a very diverse population. And it's the goal of this committee from the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce to have that diversity work for the betterment of business. In Lancaster, Curt Davis, News 64.
The group is co-sponsoring an outreach forum this Saturday at the Lancaster Performing Arts Center.
Well, up next on News 64, we'll take a break from all this fire and election news for some sports news with Steve Gannon.
Stay with us. Well, this is probably one of the few places you'll get some sports news tonight. So,
well, people need a little break from all this excitement going around us.
So go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Baseball news first. American League Cy Young Award winner announced today. This one, not the no-brainer that the Rookie of the Year awards were, but still a pretty easy choice. White Sox right-hander Jack McDowell. McDowell had another great season for Chicago this year, 22 wins and leading the Sox to the AL West title. McDowell got 21 out of the 28 first-place votes. Randy Johnson of the Mariners got 6 and finishing second. And former Antelope Valley High School pitcher Kevin Apier of Lancaster, he finished third. He also got 1 first-place vote. All right, let's change up a bit. Time to take a look at a guy who is, without a doubt, the strongest man in the entire high desert. He's the current California State powerlifting champion in the super heavyweight division. He resides in Apple Valley, and his name is Hank Hill, and lifting weights is one of the things he does very, very well.
He's 6'3" tall and weighs somewhere around 300 pounds. That may sound heavy to the average individual, but it's only a fraction of the weight that ex-Illinois football player Hank Hill lifts on any given day.
Requires a lot of time, I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of heavy weights. You have to program your nutrition daily. It's just not something where you can go out and eat something. You have to plan your carbohydrates, protein, according to what you want to do. And just got to get your butt in here and work out hard. And it's a 4 to 5 day a week affair. And no matter if you feel good or not, you got to get in here. Especially if you want to be the best.
And being the best is something that Hank Hill has accomplished. He's the reigning super heavyweight champion for California. And at a recent meet, his deadlift of 805 was a new state record.
I'm in the power building process right now. I usually keep my reps in the 5 to 7 range. 4 days a week, sometimes 5, depending on the contest, 2 hours at a time. My weights vary. It just depends. I usually go 80% of my maximum weight all the time.
But there was a time when Hank Hill didn't know if he would ever lift again. It was a football-related knee injury that many doctors thought would end his powerlifting career forever.
He told me that I would probably never squat again, I could never be a weightlifter, and I probably have not many chances of playing. Although it's not a real crucial ligament, it's still very damaging. And they wanted to cut on me, and I said no, and you know, look at me now. I'm squatting, well over 800 pounds. I can still dunk a volleyball. I have no problems with my knees whatsoever, none. That was a big incentive, and it was almost like, I'm going to show you doctors and I can do it.
Sure did. You said you wanted 4, but I let you do another. Okay. All right, strong guy. Also available for personal training at Gold's Gym, and a good guy to have around as a friend, I think.
Really, you might need. Got some scores for us?
Yes, I do. NHL tonight. Winners include Vancouver, Detroit, Quebec, and Philadelphia. So, pretty busy night in sports, but really not that important in light of everything else that's going on.
Yeah, crazy day. We're going to take about a 2-minute break, and then we'll be back to start our election night coverage right after this, so do stay with us.